20 seconds. Amy Klobuchar said only 6 words. Let's talk about Trump's classified documents. And the room froze. Something passed through Kash Patel's eyes. Very fast, a tiny fraction of a second, but the camera caught it. That moment before the mask was put on. This was not a polite question. It wasn't rhetorical either. She sat in front of Klobuchar with a blue, thick, tabbed binder, and she asked, why were the 17 documents seized from Mar-a-Lago, which were already at the highest classification level, elevated to an even higher level after you became director? 20 seconds later, Patel still hadn't answered. Watch the full video, because that silence took this hearing to a place very different from an ordinary inspection session. But to understand why that silence felt so heavy, you need to know what Klobuchar put in that folder. Section 1. Who is Klobuchar? Amy Klobuchar, senator from Minnesota, former prosecutor, a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Klobuchar doesn't put on a show during hearings. She doesn't shout, she doesn't pound the table. Her questions are the type that are prepared in advance, and the answers are known. And that day was no different. But what she brought was different. Someone from the inside had spoken. A 23-year career FBI agent. His statement was in Klobuchar's folder. And this statement was coming from Patel's own building. Section 2. No one expected it. The hearing was the Senate Intelligence Committee's confirmation session for the FBI director. The dramatic one was expected to be the hearing on last week's Homeland Security nominee. The session seemed routine. Patel entered confidently, shoulders back and in a well-tailored suit, knowing the game he had played countless times. He knew how to dawdle, waste time, and give what seemed like answers that were actually non-answers. He looked at his watch twice. He glanced at the legal team. Then Klobuchar took the floor. Chapter 3. 6 words. Director Patel, I want to talk about something that has been bothering me for months. The classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. Patel's statement changed slightly. You would have missed it if you weren't watching his eyes. But that moment had come. Senator, as I stated in my previous remarks, the FBI is conducting a comprehensive and impartial investigation into this matter. He said, I don't care about your previous remarks, Klobuchar said as she opened the blue, thick and tabbed folder. I care about what you haven't told us. Her words created a cold silence in the room. But the real kicker was this. Klobuchar hadn't come just to ask questions. She had an internal FBI memorandum. Specifically, I want to understand this. Why were the 17 documents marked confidential/SCI that were seized from Mar-a-Lago elevated to a higher classification level after you became FBI director? A deep silence. Chapter 4. February Memorandum. I'm not aware of that, said Patel. An irregular reclassification process targeting specific documents. You are not aware. Klobuchar pulled out a document. She raised it for the cameras to see. This is the internal FBI memorandum dated February 8th of this year. 6 weeks after taking over the director position, he instructs the Information Security Unit to subject all documents obtained from the Mar-a-Lago search that refer to foreign intelligence sources and methods to an expedited classification review. He slowly lowered the document. It bears the signature of your counterintelligence deputy director. Are you telling this committee under oath that you were not aware of this directive? He asked. Patel looked at her lawyers, but both were silent, neither taking notes nor whispering. Senator, classification reviews are routine procedures designed to protect sources and methods, he said. Stop. Klobuchar's voice didn't rise, but she would cut him off. There is nothing routine about making the highest classification level documents even more restricted. There is nothing routine about doing this specifically for documents involving a former president. And there is nothing routine about doing it immediately after taking control of the FBI as a Trump loyalist. If you want to follow these types of trial analyses, you can subscribe to our channel and keep the notifications on. Let's continue.
Chapter 5. The Insider Voice. Patel tried to divert the topic. Senator Klobuchar, I deeply regret that this committee continues to weaponize its oversight for political attacks.
You want to talk about weaponization. Klobuchar's statement said it all. Let's talk. He pulled out another document. This is the testimony of a career FBI agent who served directly on the Mar-a-Lago document review team. 23 years of service. It was closed due to name protection, but his statement is extremely clear. He started reading. On March 14th, I was instructed by senior leadership to stop my analysis of 3 specific documents seized from the former president's residence. When I asked why, I was told that the review had now been elevated to a restricted access program for which I did not have a security clearance. When I said I had a TSSI security clearance and had been working on these documents for months, I was told the decision came from the director's office.
Klobuchar said, lowering the page. That's you, Director. The Director's office. Your office, he said. Patel's face went through 3 expressions in 5 seconds: surprise, anger, and then that pre-prepared mask. Senator, I cannot comment on the details of ongoing classification processes, he said. There's nothing ongoing in this process, Klobuchar interrupted. The Mar-a-Lago investigation concluded 14 months ago. The special prosecutor's report was submitted. The case is closed. The case is closed. Chapter 6, 17 Document. And at this point, the situation took a different turn. Klobuchar lowered her voice, but it gave her more gravitas. Let me make this very simple. There were 17 documents. All of them were seized from Donald Trump's personal residence, containing sensitive intelligence that would constitute a federal crime to possess outside a secure facility, and you, the person Trump wanted to appoint as FBI director, took control and further restricted access to these documents. He paused and asked, "Why?" Patel opened his mouth. He closed it. He reopened it. Senator, the protection of sources and methods is paramount. Then show these documents to the committee in a closed session, Klobuchar quickly replied. We have access to the CAF. We have security clearance. If it's really about the sources and methods, show us. Prove it. Patel sat still. Or is it that what you are really protecting is not the resources and methods, but something entirely different? Or is it that what you are actually protecting is not the sources and methods, but something entirely different? Chapter 7, Closed Session Proposal. But the main critical point was this. This question created an unavoidable corner. Klobuchar asked directly, how many of these 17 documents you declassified contain information about how Trump handled classified material? How many contain evidence of potential violations? And how many cover correspondence between Trump and foreign officials? Said. Patel replied, Senator, I cannot discuss the contents of classified material in an open session. Klobuchar said, then let's move to a closed session. I'll ask the same questions behind closed doors. Will you answer then? The hall erupted, a loud moment. The journalists stopped writing. The committee members looked at each other. Patel's deputy legal advisor stood up. Klobuchar didn't even look at him. Yes or no question. Director Patel, will you answer these questions in a closed session before this committee? 20 seconds. The silence in the room is such that the hum of the ventilation can be heard. Chapter 8. White House Permission. Patel finally spoke. His voice was almost a whisper. Before going into a classified session on such a sensitive matter, I will need to consult with the White House counsel and the Director of National Intelligence, she said. Klobuchar slowly repeated the phrase, White House counsel, and paused. So, you need to get permission from the current administration before determining what you can tell Congress about documents seized from a former president's home. Patel did not respond. He couldn't, because each answer opened up the next question, and this changed the course of the trial. Chapter 9. Public Reaction. Klobuchar gathered her documents. Director Patel, let me tell you what I saw. There was an FBI director who was appointed by Donald Trump, had worked for Trump for years, defended him, and built his career on loyalty to Trump. And now, that person was systematically restricting access to evidence that could link Trump to serious federal crimes. He looked at the camera, not Patel. This is my personal opinion, but it is the job of this committee to ask these questions and get answers. Subpoenas will be issued for every document, every agent, every piece of evidence, if necessary. Within minutes, clips spread every place. CNN cut to the broadcast, MSNBC brought in legal analysts, and 2 streams of commentary emerged on social media. Finally, someone had the courage to ask, and Klobuchar's framing was biased. This dichotomy shows the weight of the issue. Chapter 10. Claim or reality? At this point, a critical distinction needs to be made. Verified. The February memorandum presented by Klobuchar entered the court record. Patel claimed he was unaware of the directive, but he did not explicitly deny it. The The 23-year agent's testimony was taken by Klobuchar's office and provided with confidentiality protection. Patel explicitly stated that he would seek White House permission to join the closed session, and this was recorded in the minutes. Contested or unverified points include: Klobuchar's definition of systematic obstruction is her own interpretation and political assessment, not a legal indictment. The full content of 17 documents has not been made public. The legal authority on which the reclassification decisions were based has not been officially shared, and there is no direct document yet made public showing that Patel personally made or authorized these decisions. The technical point highlighted by legal analysts: a request for coordination with the White House counsel before a closed session by an FBI director is an unusual demand. Normally, such decisions are made based on the assessment of the FBI's own legal unit. The meaning of Patel's statement continues to be debated. Chapter 11. That silence. 20 seconds. Klobuchar didn't shout. She didn't pound the table. He didn't put on a performance for the camera. Someone from the inside had spoken and brought that statement. He had brought a signed internal memorandum. He had forced Patel to respond. If he attended the closed session, he would have to disclose its contents to the committee. If he refused, he would be questioned about what he was hiding. If he sought permission from the White House, his independence would be called into question. Patel chose the third option, and this choice was recorded in the minutes. The next steps have not yet been clarified. It is unclear when Klobuchar's subpoena requests will be resolved. It is unclear whether the closed session she requested will take place. The Inspector General's investigation has not yet been initiated, but questions were asked. Answers were not given, and that silence was heard by everyone. If you followed this analysis this far and want to keep up with corporate oversight processes, subscribe to our channel and keep notifications on. We will continue to analyze the fate of the closed session and subpoena decisions requested by Klobuchar here. In the comments, I wonder, what does it mean for the institutional independence of an FBI director to seek permission from the executive branch before testifying to Congress? Where should this line be drawn? See you in the next video.